Murdoch is sort of an off-the-grid, I guess you'd call it, cartoon show. It used to be on YouTube, and it got banned off there and blacklisted eventually. My very first video that I did for YouTube, here on YouTube, had clips from an episode of Murdoch, and because of this, the episode was banned, and it was my very first YouTube ban that I was stopped from uploading for a week. All this, shit, all the shit that comes with a ban. My very first one, my very first episode. Now, at the time, they sent me a thing saying there was a copyright claim because of the Murdoch footage, which I know isn't true, because the people that made it are pretty open about people being able to share their work in any way they want, as long as it's not being monetized. It was my first video, so certainly there was no monetization involved. And as far as I'm concerned, there never will be for me. But yeah, it was, I think from that day, we got off on the wrong foot, and I've always kind of been in the barrel here. 5 more bans followed over the next 3 years, which I've whined about many times, so I'm not going to go into it now, but it's all because of the absolute hatred that the system has for the show, the whatever you want to call it. The people in charge don't like people seeing this stuff because it's really good, and it's really white pilling. Like, it makes you it's the kind of stuff that would save a life, I think, because things are so, in this world anyway, will get you so black-pilled that you just feel like, what's the use of doing anything? And Murdoch is the kind of thing that will uplift people. It also has naughty words in it, and because of that, they can't have it anywhere where you can get it in any kind of regular platform. You have to really search them out. Hang on a second. Oh, I love seeing little white kids in my neighborhood. Always makes me so happy. There was this group of like 5 of them up in Ross like a couple days ago. Like, all little ones with blonde hair. They're from like Europe somewhere, because I could tell by their accents. And I was like, oh my god, I was so happy to see them. I wanted to take a picture of them. I'm like, maybe we shouldn't be taking pictures of kids in the fucking toy section of a retailer. I mean, I wasn't really gonna take, but it's like I get excited when I see like a bunch of, younger white people, because I'm like, wow, we have a future. I mean, there will, and just those 5 are worth like 500 of anybody else. I don't think I'm gonna, I think I'm heading for another band here. But that show is so, the reason it's hated so much, and the reason it's like so hidden and kept away. Oh god, it's so hard to fucking stay on topic when I come out and I just see some of the stuff in my neighborhood. That fucking N didn't care about, he knew I was coming, but he would have hit me. And those people don't care about fucking hitting people. Anyway, there was a time before COVID when we didn't have them in our neighborhood at all. They weren't here, and so it's this footage is now unusable. Anyway, if it wasn't so effective, they wouldn't care. But it's so well done, and you really, nothing I can really say about it will put it over any more than you actually seeing it yourself. The reason I bring it up now is because there was another legend, a hero among us, that has made a couple of videos about it lately, and you just don't see that on YouTube. Doing a retrospective of that series is just fucking not, it's not usually something that they allow here, and I would be surprised if they stayed up much longer. So the fact that this guy is risking his band, his channel, and he certainly is, you gotta give him props. And he only has 3,000 subscribers, which means he's one of us, and he's well within the, you don't have to look at him side-eyed, you know, kind of subscriber numbers. I still pretty much stick to the 50K walk away thing, but there are guys that are, you know, 20, 30K that I think are kind of, that are compromised in some way. I absolutely think that, especially now that they're allowing people to be more open about what they're saying. And the reason for that, I think, and someone pointed out in my comments too, is that Palantir shit. They want to get you saying all this stuff, so to ultimately throw you in the ban. And now I'm getting banned no matter what. I've already laid down enough stuff for them to ban me for. I mean, not even like what the social justice fucking weirdo shit, like, you know, what they consider racism or stuff, but just I've talked about like human trafficking and when it comes to Hawaii or the organ trade here in Hawaii, tons of shit. So I'm getting in the ban at some point, but for right now, I'm not, so I'm just gonna keep fucking yapping my gums about stuff. So the Murdoch, I don't even know if I could put a link to it, where to find it. They have archives online. I would say go to Yandex, right, and just search Murdoch shell. Google won't give you anything. You got to go to Yandex, which is a Russian web searcher. What the fuck you call it? Search engine. Thank you. So of course that means you know, it's evil, right, because it's Russian. But the if you look there are people that have archives of every episode, and the thing to do is like download a couple. It'd be good. The ultimate thing would be to just download them all if you have space on whatever your device is, and yeah, watch them. The first year is a bit, there's not much to them. They're just little skits. It's when they start getting the show together where there's the Dr. Murdoch and Murdoch Chan, when they're living together in a house, and it becomes like sort of like a sitcom kind of you know, arrangement, is where it starts getting good, and where they start having stories that continue episode to episode, and the characters develop, and there's some really, really super smart kind of stuff going on there, and it's funny, and it gets across all the problems that were going on in the time that show was made, which is, geez, was it about 10 years ago that started? I don't know. It's been off the they haven't made a new episode in years, but this stuff is more relevant now than it was back then, as far as the West being invaded by Africa and Muslims, and, you know, the way they sprinkle different people in the communities that don't fit there and aren't going to fit there, and they're going to cause trouble and decline the West. They were talking about that back then, and it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now. You look at a place like London, like the UK, that place is just gone. Like they let it go, and there's no saving that place. That's done. You know, Ireland's fighting bravely, as they always do. Hawaii, take a fucking note, if you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's really, we've entered the time now where there's no turning back. You know, it's really the Kalarugi, I can never pronounce that, plan is in full effect. And as much as, like, I say it would be great to fight against it, and I want, hey, you know, it's out 280. Cigarette? Yeah. How's it going, man? You alright? Yeah. Yeah, take a couple. Yeah. Here you go, bud. You
remember Untold Mysteries?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, it's very loud. What was his name?
Who?
The Untold Mysteries man. You know, Lifetime?
Oh, Rod. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. What about it? Have you seen him?
I'm married to him.
Oh, you're married to a lot of people, man. You get around like a record. Later, honey. Gay homeless, bro. Obviously. I'm gonna run into Target for a minute. I'll be right back. God, Target was fucking packed. You ever want to feel like an alive, real individual? Go into a packed Target, and it won't be very long before you find yourself saying, "Am I the only one awake?" And chances are, yeah. Statistically, yeah. I used to, like, when I used to get aggravated with people, I remind myself that, look, they're all God's children. Just chill out, try to be nice. So kind of discovering that all the people around me are not all God's children. In fact, there's the current number that has been agreed upon consensus-wise is 5%. 5% of the people out here around you are players, you know, in the fucking whatever you call this place, this realm. And the rest are just bodies. And the bodies work for the system. They're like, they work off system prompts and they do whatever it tells them to. That's why when COVID happened, everybody fucking went along with everything. And what the aim of them is to kowtow those of us that are the children of God, to do what they do, to follow them, to guilt or badger us into doing what they do. Because the whole point of the exercise is to get us away from God. Satan wants to get the last of God's children that he can, or as many as he can, to turn away from him and to go down in the pit with him, because he knows he's lost. Like, he can't win this struggle. It's not about winning anymore for him. It's about getting as many of God's children away from him. And all these other bodies, these system assets, these system tools that work for the OS, their whole job is to try to kowtow you into acting like you have no soul, you know, that like you're one of them. So ever since kind of learning about all this stuff and figuring this stuff out, now I have no such problems with going into a place like talking like, fuck these people, I fucking, you know, they're all retarded. Because a lot of them are, you know what I mean? Well, in fact, 95% of them are. What it does, though, is it makes you feel a lot better, or less kind of worried about what people think of you, because, I mean, I think it was, who was it that said this, but it's like being in Skyrim and being afraid to jump through the cities as you run through, because people will think you're weird, you know, because they're not like, you know, they're not like you, right? So they're people, right? So who cares? So it gives me kind of a similar feeling out here. It's like, I don't give a fuck with these people, you know? And you really don't care after a while. Let me cross over here. So it's like, it's freeing in that way. But it's kind of scary when you think about it sometimes. Not scary, it's the wrong word to use. You know, because you've seen all these people, and you're like, a lot of these people are just, they're here for the few of us that are, you know, real, for lack of a better term. I said back of a letter term. Fucking see where my head's at. The yeah, they're here to fucking try to ruin your day. That's your job. So try not to get frustrated when impossible things happen. You know, impossible scenarios will emerge. You know, like you'll be alone somewhere in a remote area, and suddenly it's, you know, party town right where you are. And it's like, how is that possible? Well, it's not. But when you have a system that's in place here, and which is geared toward trying to get the few people that are living, the 5%, to give up their souls, basically, to get along in the system, you're going to have stuff like that happen. So, I don't know how we got to this point. We're talking about Murdoch. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about Murdoch. It's just a great show. You should watch it to seek it out. There's nothing I could say about it that would, you know, that could pop it any more than it's seeing it yourself. And, you know, respect to that guy for, what's his channel? I'll put his name out here. For you know, highlighting it and trying to do some stuff with it. Because more people need to see it. It would make people feel better. You know, it's like, it's definitely the biggest white pill you'll have. If you've never seen it before, yeah, it's fucking, it might save your life. Seriously. Because as you start to realize these truths, there's another part of you that has been the victim of spellcraft programming that will be saying to you, oh, you shouldn't think this. You're a bad person. Why do you... No, this is bad. These are bad thoughts. You'll have that going on. What you need to do is get an M80, stick it in the mouth of that voice, and fucking light it. Because it might save your life. Yeah, I'd die for it. I think a lot of us would. That's why they're afraid of it. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.